10 second. Next up, we will have the final of the women's C2 200 metres. And Johnny, we just heard Spella say there that there's time between now and the World Championships. It's about 10 weeks for her. It's really important to perform today ahead of that one, looking ahead to those World Championships and Olympic qualification. What would, for you, for example, what would that stretch of time really look like? How do you prepare? How do you go from peaking now at a World Cup to peaking again in 2.5 months?
Yeah, so we used to do 2 small peaks in a year and then 1 major peak for the World Championships. So that would involve us also racing the World Cups now, having a training period of up to 6 weeks. Then the European Championships, assess the form then and move on to the Worlds. And basically each time you're not trying to take too much out of your training when you come to these races. You're just using them as tests to see where your form's at. Then you go back home, you train really hard, but perhaps on certain things based on what you've learned from these early competitions. So it's now, for people that aren't doing the European Games, they just have an even bigger block to build on everything they perceive as a weakness from these championships.
Well, up next, the women's C2 200 metres, and in lane 5, that's Russia's Ksenia Kurach and Olesia Romasenko. And there are a lot of crews in this C2 200 that have already paddled just a few moments ago in the C2 500 metres, the opening final of the afternoon. Interesting to see who can back up their performances. There's Bala and Takac, who won gold in the C2 500 metres just an hour ago. Borovska and Shuchebinska in this one as well, from Russia. They're out in lane 7. In lane 8, representing Colombia, that's Ana Leday, Daza Ochoa and Manuela Gomez Sanchez. And in lane 9, representing Poland, that's Magda Stani and Julia Volchak.
Yep, so they're just floating down there as they get called into the starting buckets. Everyone's just wanting to take their time with this, make sure they're not sat in the buckets too long waiting for everyone else to line up. So there's a bit of looking around to make sure you time that well. And then we see the buckets have just popped up, so they can head towards them now. It's interesting to see Chinese with a different crew in compared to their 500-metre crew, but the Russians and the Hungarians, they've both only a short while ago been racing 500 metres flat out, so they're obviously very confident that they can back this up. It's going to be interesting to see whether they can or not, whether the freshness from the Chinese or perhaps the Polish will give them the edge in this.
Well, Hungary gold in the C2 500 a moment ago, Russia bronze in that event, and the two crews are going head-to-head again in lanes 5 and lane 6 in the women's C2 200 metres.
Yeah, Poland late into the buckets there and coming in fast. We'll be waiting for starters' orders now, trying to keep the boat still.
And here we are, a really good start for Hungary once again. They produced an absolutely sterling performance to power through and take gold in the 500 metres a moment ago, beating Vincent Lapointe and Vincent of Canada. Uzbekistan in lane 3, China in lane 4, going really, really well as well. It's China's Lin and Zhang who just have the lead with 15 metres to go in this final. Uzbekistan are up there in the silver medal position. Hungary just slipping back into third after that fantastic start. This is going to be an incredible finish across the board. It will be China with the gold, Uzbekistan with the silver, and it looked like Hungary in bronze.
Yeah, I think they just held on there. The Russians were really, really close to them again there. So they've really recovered well, the Russians, from their C2 500 metre final, but not quite enough to hold on to the medals. The Chinese there, their freshness, you could just see the attack in their stroke. They were really, really going for it there. Nice timing out of the buckets from both the Uzbekistanis and the Hungarians, but they're just a little bit too jaded from that 500 metres to hold on.
Yeah, big start all the way through. Brilliant paddle from the Chinese pair. Hungary getting out the blocks really quickly. You can see them gritting their teeth. But what a paddle from Lin and Zhang of China. They're really dominating now in the C2 200 on the World Cup circuit. They won gold in Poznan, the first World Cup last week, gold both here and in Szeged on the World Cup circuit last year as well. And it was close and it was difficult, but they took gold again here in Duisburg. And a really, really close finish for the bronze medal as well, with Hungary taking that one, Uzbekistan with the silver. China having an absolutely brilliant afternoon in the canoes.
Yeah, it's great to see on their faces how much it means to them. A little low five there as they come in towards the stands here, and we'll be hearing their thoughts on the racing.
42.014, unofficially a new world